You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Wednesday the 3rd of September, 2025. It is 75 days after the summer solstice. It is 19 days before the fall equinox. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 17th day of Fructidor, the day of the quart d'heure, the teasel. The sun rises today at 6:25 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:55 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:24 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 7:52 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 8:25 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 36 seconds, shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing gibbous phase and is 82% full at midday. The full moon will arrive on Sunday, the 7th of September. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the middle of the night, low tide, 12:59 a.m., 21 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 7:13 a.m., 1 meter 19. In the afternoon, low tide, 1:10 p.m., 30 centimeters. In the evening, high tide, 7:31 p.m., 1 meter 43. In our shared realm of plants and animals, the very first leaves are just starting to turn. While many trees show the beginning of leaves edged in brown, the leaves of the thornless honey locusts are turning bright yellow. The process is starting near the tops of the trees, and just a few branches have begun to turn. But underneath the trees, a fine carpet of small yellow oval leaves is beginning to decorate the sidewalk. The cottonwoods are also dropping leaves, but these are a dull grayish brown, and cottonwoods drop leaves quite readily in dry spells throughout the summer. So the bright yellow honey locusts are the brightest harbinger of the leaf fall that will soon be upon us. Commemorations. On this day in 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed by representatives of King George III of Great Britain and representatives of the United States. It brought the American War of Independence to an official close. Boundaries were agreed between the United States and British North America, which would become Canada. Prisoners of war would be exchanged, and peaceable relations in trade were reestablished. The war was over. Today is the anniversary of the day in 1838 when Frederick Douglass made his escape from slavery. He would use his freedom to become a fierce abolitionist. A year before, in 1837, Douglass fell in love with Anna Murray, a free black woman in Baltimore. She gave him direct support in his flight to freedom. Dressed as a sailor and carrying documents he obtained from a free black seaman, Douglass boarded a train in Baltimore. He traversed the slave state of Delaware and boarded a steamer in Wilmington, bound for Philadelphia. Just 24 hours after he began his journey, he was in the safe house of abolitionist David Ruggles at 36 Lispenard Street in Manhattan. Anna Murray joined him a week later, and they were wed on the 15th of September. He wrote this of his newfound freedom. I felt as one might feel upon escape from a den of hungry lions. Anguish and grief, like darkness and rain, may be depicted, but gladness and joy, like the rainbow, defy the skill of pen or pencil. This day in 1967 was H-Day in Sweden. It was the day the country switched from driving on the left side of the road, like the British, to driving on the right, like the rest of Europe. The H stood for Högertrafik, Swedish for right-hand traffic. Carefully planned, it began in the night, with all non-essential traffic banned from the roads. Road crews were dispatched to reconfigure intersections. At a specific hour, which varied across the country, vehicles were allowed back on the road, now driving on the right. An amazingly smooth transition. Kudos to the Swedes. On this day in 1964, President Lyndon Johnson signed the Wilderness Act. It created the legal definition of wilderness in the United States and the means to protect it. Now, 757 areas encompassing 109.5 million acres are protected under the Act. That's almost 5% of our national territory. Let us hope this act of conservation is carried on and preserved. And that is the Observatory, Wednesday, the 3rd of September, 2025.